Mayor Adam Paul is a native of Lakewood, and he's one of Colorado's youngest mayors, so I think the whole enthusiasm of youth theme will continue when he takes the stage. He's a genuine champion for the residents of Lakewood, and he really believes that small businesses are the backbone of our community. So please help me welcome Mayor Adam Paul.
Good afternoon. Yeah, it's fantastic. I think we all can share Colfax stories, right? And note to self, never jump on the Uber pool for sure on West Colfax. Although it could be a cool pint and pub tour, right? So thank you all for being here today with us. It's an incredible opportunity for me and for our city council to kind of highlight what has happened this last year in the city of Lakewood. And it's also a special day because we are celebrating International Women's Day. So let's give a big round of applause to all of our women. Girl power, indeed, and I think it's especially important for the city of Lakewood because we have a fearless leader of our organization named Kathy Hodson, who does an incredible job as city manager and one of only probably less than 5 female city managers in the whole state of Colorado. So we're really proud of that, and that's what our city's all about. And what does it mean to be a great city? Good roads, nice sidewalks, great parks, safe neighborhoods, an amazing mayor. I submit to you, my council, right? I submit to you, a great city is all of these. Cities are not just the pipes or power lines, nor is a city built solely upon the structures of government. The foundation of a city is the people. It's the people who enable these systems to exist and flourish. Today we gather to celebrate the boldness that makes our community great. How did we get here? What challenges have we faced? Who has led the charge, and what does the future hold? It all began with Lakewood's founding mothers and fathers, citizens who created a vision for what this city could be. They set out to create a vibrant and safe community, a city that would provide a superior quality of life for all of its residents. I'm happy to say this vision is still alive today. After all, what is a city but for its people? I recently read a story about a group of residents who came together because they were concerned about zoning issues affecting their neighborhoods. You can probably guess the topics: building setbacks, off-street parking, traffic impacts, and even mixed-use developments. These meetings could have easily been last year, last month, or even last week. When do you think these meetings happened? All right, shh. It may come as a surprise, but these were hot topics in March of 1968, a whole year before Lakewood was even a city. Other interesting stories in the Jefferson Sentinel that year range from dog issues to problems with public school funding, and believe it or not, state lawmakers were working on a bid for the Winter Olympics. Deja vu, right? How about a dog park to our commissioners? Understanding the past is important and meaningful in order to see the future. It also allows us to see the challenges we face today are challenges we faced in the past. As far back as 1968, residents were concerned about the quality of life and safety of their community. However, these folks gathered together and used their resourcefulness to transform challenges into the building blocks of what Lakewood is today. In the 1940s, Jefferson County's population had grown by nearly 80% and then doubled again in the 50s. By the late 60s, the population was set to increase by a whopping 83%, making Jeffco one of the fastest growing communities in the whole nation. This rapid growth created issues far beyond zoning. By the late 70s, residents were worried about losing too much open space to development. In order to preserve land, residents settled on a plan to tax themselves by a half cent, thus creating a fund to purchase land for parks and open space. By coming together, the people of Lakewood crafted a solution that worked for everyone. This led to the largest expansion of park acreage in Lakewood's history. Purchases included parcels for Hayden Park on Green Mountain and the land that is now Addenbrook today, which we're all enjoying. The 80s had its own set of challenges: Miami Vice, bad hair, parachute pants. Having purchased so much parkland, Lakewood faced a serious dilemma. We had a lot of land, but it wasn't accessible or usable for parks. Once again, the people of Lakewood debated the issue and voted to allow that half-cent tax to do more than just buy land. With this vote, Lakewood was able to build additional playgrounds, trails, and other great amenities. By the 1990s, Lakewood faced another surge of growth. In fact, the 90s saw the biggest boom in housing in Lakewood in the last 30 years. As the decade came to a close, Lakewood faced two challenges: a rapidly growing population and a dying Villa Italia mall. Much as they did in 1968, Lakewood residents came together and accomplished something remarkable. They charted a vision that set the course for what would eventually become Belmar, a bold but risky solution. Judging from its success, now look, the risk paid off. Belmar provides a wide array of shopping, restaurants, offices, housing, and it continues to evolve in new and exciting ways. Today, it's a national model that many across the nation look to while they're charting their own futures. Moving into the 21st century, bringing West Colfax back to life remained front and center. Again, we came together to create a solution that would shape this historic corridor, while still celebrating its, as we heard earlier, one-of-a-kind character. Through extensive community dialogue, an idea took root: revitalize Colfax through art. Now big things are happening on Colfax. We have investment that has secured the future of businesses like, I had to add it, Casa Bonita, where if you were here last year, I promised I will be doing a cannonball. I will. We're going to get it done. The 40 West Arts District is teaming with creative businesses, galleries, coffee shops, and breweries, all bringing back economic vitality to this part of Lakewood. You can even get your health on at Planet Fitness. See? We're thrilled Reed Art and Imaging has returned to Lakewood and is now housed in the historic Lakewood Theater, which featured Cheaper by the Dozen as its first movie in the 1950s. What a wonderful way to preserve our history. Did anybody see that in the 50s? Well, all right. We got a couple, that's cool. By 2007, it became clear that Lakewood needed a regional healthcare facility. Converting a brownfield site on the Federal Center was a risk, but that risk has become an incredible community asset. Now the St. Anthony Hospital and Medical Campus provides top-notch services to our community, has created more than 2,000 jobs, and adds millions to the local economy every year. This year, we are thrilled to help them celebrate their 125th anniversary. Congratulations, St. Anthony's. This look back on how we got here enables us to see that each of these endeavors are but another chapter in the story of our city. It's a story where residents join together to meet the challenges of the day with a vision for a bold tomorrow. Out of these challenges have come great things for our community to celebrate. Those that have gone before us have made Lakewood the great place it is to live, work, and play. And look where we are today. I want to share a few highlights from this past year. The Community Resources Department completed a master plan update called Imagine Lakewood. Residents helped chart the future of arts, parks, and recreation. The plan is already underway and is expanding our community garden program and enhancing the Possibilities Fund, ensuring that everybody has the opportunity to participate in our recreation and cultural programs. Our planning department spent the past year readying the art line for launch. You heard about this earlier. This inspired walking and biking route takes you through dinosaur-styled sculptures, intriguing ground murals, and will connect 3 of our existing parks. The art line provides free access to the arts for those who don't often get to experience it. The Lakewood Planning Commission launched the Development Dialogue. This community conversation is about finding the best solutions to address the challenges that we're facing today, such as setbacks, parking, traffic, just to name a few. Sound familiar? Good conversations take time, and that's what the Development Dialogue is all about. Starting this month, you'll have the opportunity to provide feedback about the Commission's proposals that address growth and how it's affecting our city. City Council is committed to bringing City Hall to you. We launched Lakewood Together, a pioneering digital tool that broadens and deepens the public's ability to participate in city issues. Our goal is to make council's decisions as accessible to everyone as possible. To the delight of the whole community, again, thank you, City Council, Councilman Abel. City Council funded the Big Boom Bash, a 4th of July celebration that will culminate with a fantastic fireworks show at Jeffco Stadium. Mark your calendars and come out for this spectacular event. Yeah, all right. 2017 was also about preserving land for open space and parks. We paid off the lease purchase of 256 acres in Hayden Park, safeguarding the future of this regional gym. We purchased nearly 60 acres of the Taylor property at Wadsworth and Morrison Road, closing on it just last week. Yep. This is the first major addition to our park since 2000. And I want to thank City Manager Kathy Hodson and her staff, who were dedicated to bringing this piece of wide open rolling Colorado landscape into our park system. I also want to thank the Taylor family for their commitment and vision to Lakewood. Our great employees, as you've heard, are often leading the way. There's no better example of this than 3 Lakewood police agents who helped a family after a devastating car accident last year. Police agents Chuck Vogel, Jeremy Rolling, and Monty Brunk responded to a horrific automobile accident in a way that speaks volumes about our employees' commitment to Lakewood. Their efforts began with a heroic attempt to save lives at the scene. Going above and beyond, they stepped up to aid a family devastated by the loss of their mother and 3-year-old son. These agents not only attended the funeral, but on his first day back to school, they treated the family's 10-year-old son to a pizza party with friends and classmates. I want to thank our agents. I want to take a moment to thank all of our men and women of our police department for their dedication. It's even more meaningful in these difficult times when we are reminded all too often of the dangers you face. So thank you. Thank you, Chief. The great hailstorm of 2017 inflicted havoc on Lakewood in a matter of minutes, causing billions of dollars in damage to pretty much everything in its path. Our permit team in Public Works knew that roofing permits would turn from a trickle to a flood, and boy did they. More than 200 applications were coming in daily. Had it not been for the forward thinking of permit leader Ann Hine and her team, who had earlier invested in an online roofing permit system, this could have been an even bigger disaster. Because of this system, no one has to step foot in City Hall to apply for, make a payment, or receive a roofing permit. Technology is never the whole story. This dedicated team of public servants processed more than 13,000 permits in 8 months and trained additional staff to process the permits, and they worked evenings and weekends to keep up. Ann Hine and Charlene Gonzalez from our permit team are with us today, and I want to thank them for their hard work. What is a city but for its people? And let me tell you, we have amazing people doing amazing things right here in Lakewood. The founder of Lakewood's Bicycle Advisory Team, Gary Hardy, tops the list. He is passionate about cycling, as you can imagine. Together with his wife, Judy, they launched the Cycling Without Age program, which uses a unique bicycle that allows older adults to sit comfortably on the front while the pilot pedals behind. The program lets older adults feel like a kid again while the pilot has the privilege of listening to a lifetime of stories. Now, I call that bold. Thank you, Gary. Sonia Estes is part of the Souls for Souls program, which has donated millions of shoes to people in African countries. She supports the city's recreation programs and year after year has provided gifts for dozens of families at Alameda High School so that they could celebrate Christmas. Sonia operates Runner's Roost, and she is a bold example for any small business to follow. Thank you, Sonia. Can you imagine going to work or trying to find a job without having the ability to take a hot shower? When you're homeless, something this simple can be out of reach. Pastor Drew Ross and his congregation at Bethlehem Lutheran Church saw a need acted, and now operate the Living Well showers, a trailer outfitted with several private shower stalls. This is just another example of how the power of one can be magnified to address the human necessity and give dignity to those most in need. Thank you, Pastor Ross. Educating our children is the foundation of everything we do. Esther Valdez, principal at Rose Stein Elementary, is leading the way at this newly reopened school. She launched the International Baccalaureate program, and prior to the grand reopening, she secured donations and worked with the Lakewood Service Club Coalition to obtain musical instruments, ensuring that all 200 students would have the opportunity to play music. Esther has engaged mentors and volunteers, created an on-site medical clinic and community garden. Her boldness to bring this school back to life has reconnected Rose Stein to the neighborhood. Thank you, Esther. It gets no more bold than winning gold. This is pretty exciting. Let's celebrate Nicole Hensley, who set her sights on becoming an Olympic hockey goalie. This Green Mountain graduate has brought home the gold with the U.S. women's team from the 2018 Olympics. We are so proud of her, her family, and her teammates. I want to welcome her parents, Linda and Darren, who are with us today. Congratulations. Woo! Go Rams. All of these leaders saw a future that was worth working for. Instead of sitting on the sidelines, they responded with creativity and resourcefulness. This is the kind of Lakewood we should all be thankful for, and folks like these are key to our amazing future. I spent the last year talking with kids across our community about what they see about Lakewood, and I've heard a lot of fantastic ideas. Eduardo, who is 9, wrote me that we need to keep the sidewalks and streets clean so kids can ride their bikes. Emmett, a 4th grader, wants healthy food to be free, along with Beanie Babies and Power Rangers. Pamela, also in 4th grade, said, I should put more interesting books and activities in the schools so it's not so boring. Yeah, I get it. And Zariah, an 8-year-old, said the city should allow kids to have candy every day for free. How about that? That's the way to do it, especially if you want to be mayor. Lots of kids told me that we should help the homeless and make sure we have more water fountains, a clean city, and more parks and schools. Maybe Peyton Douglas, who was 17, said it best. There aren't many problems I can think of. We have a lot of good things in Colorado that many don't have. A beautiful town and fun places to go. If I were mayor, I would make sure that everyone would have fair opportunities, but not in a way where it would cause chaos. These are all great ideas, but the most important message I heard from our children is what they didn't say. I didn't hear fear. They spoke about compassion, sharing, and making things better, but they are not afraid. That's a lesson we should all take to heart. Our nation's children are providing us another lesson after yet one more school shooting. I wake some mornings wondering if there will be a day when our flags will ever fly at full mast again because of the relentless string of school tragedies. Every child deserves to go to school and feel safe. Teens across the country are becoming the next generation of leaders, and they are telling the nation they are tired of classmates dying while adults do nothing. We need to listen and take bold steps to address these pressing issues of safety in our schools. Now let's talk about our very bright future. 2019 will be Lakewood's 50th anniversary. It's a baby. Let's use this anniversary to focus our thoughts on what this city will look like over the course of the next 50 years. Let's think about what we can and must do to make sure that 50 years from now, our children are still filled with hope, compassion, and a spirit of collaboration. It takes only one person, one idea, one dream to make a difference. We don't have to look far to set the course for change. Within each of us lies the ability to be a leader. I encourage you to follow your passion, dig deep, and take on one thing that needs to be addressed in our city and set it into motion. Find yours and make it happen. It's with this spirit that we will continue to realize our dreams. I have given this a lot of thought, and I want to tell you what my one thing is for this year. I want to address childhood hunger in our city. There is no excuse for children to go hungry in Lakewood, yet it happens every day. I believe our kids are our greatest asset. Together we can change lives by ensuring that their most basic needs are being met. I'll consult with our Lakewood-linked coalitions to make sure that we have no hungry children in our community. That's my bold commitment. What will yours be? Yeah, thanks. I also would like to make a difference in the metro area by collaborating with other mayors to work on a solution for one of the most pressing issues facing residents today, the affordable housing crisis. While it's true that our cities may have their own boundaries, the reality is that we are all connected and have the same kind of concerns. I believe it's the responsibility of the mayors across the metro area to jump in and tackle this issue as a unified force. I look forward to getting to work on this soon with my colleagues. That's cool. I'll take that. Growth and change in Lakewood and across the state is certainly causing anxiety, and we're all feeling effects, whether it's traffic, lack of housing options, or long lines in the grocery store. When looking for solutions, it's important that we don't react in haste. We must not make fear-based decisions or capitulate to the loudest voices. Remember, we have been here before. We have experienced this in years past, and we have worked through it. Without building invisible walls, we have been able to transform our challenges into assets with great success. We can and must do this again. I'd like to thank our dedicated city council for all they do to stay in touch with our residents and for working together on our future. Let's give them another round of applause. We spend a lot of time together, and it's becoming more and more if you tune in on a Monday night, but that's good. We have a lot of work to do. City Council has established important priorities for the coming year, including expanding open space, increasing our sidewalk replacement program, and addressing our growing infrastructure needs, to name a few. We also have a long list of other improvements that must be addressed. Our stormwater needs are preventing new investment in many areas, especially on West Colfax, which desperately needs it. The biggest challenge of all, how to pay for it. Right? How to pay for it. So this will be bold. City Council and staff have worked diligently to make sure Lakewood's financial position is strong. Had we not been in this position, last year's hailstorm and the damage to Colorado Mills may not have allowed us to provide the high level of services you expect without interruption. However, the growing list of open space, sidewalk, and safety needs is extensive. With our current funding, it would take decades to address. Maybe it's time to talk about large projects. Maybe it's time to talk. See, I'm already worried about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Maybe it's time to talk about using the financial tools that fund large projects like municipal bonds or debrucing from the impact of Tabor. After all, this isn't new. Our Lakewood residents have done this four times in our history. We can do it again. Over the past 5 years, Lakewood has refunded more than $17 million under Tabor. For the 2017 budget, the refund is expected to grow to $8.8 million. To put that in perspective, that's $4 million more than Lakewood receives a year from the state of Colorado and the federal government for transportation. These are big numbers for Lakewood's budget, and it's becoming more and more difficult to solve the problems that residents want fixed, like traffic congestion, walkability, and preserving more open space. Let's have these difficult conversations now so we can create a future with more parks, open space, sidewalks, and infrastructure necessary for a 21st century city. Past generations were not fearful, and we owe it to them to continue their legacy of imagining today an amazing future. Also at the forefront of many conversations is the land at the Federal Center. We understand that there are needs and gaps to address homelessness in our community. However, the size and scope of what is currently being proposed does not follow the multiple plans our residents have previously envisioned for this site. I have great hope that we can involve all stakeholders to find thoughtful and courageous solutions to address this while honoring the community plans. As we continue to discuss growth this year, we need to understand the long-term impacts of new policies on affordability, attainability, and ownership for living in our city. Let's not make it harder for those most in need of housing options to call Lakewood home. Let's find solutions that balance the needs of those already here and allow future generations to thrive. As far back as 1968, residents have been thinking about what our city would look like. We have the framework for success. By bringing people together from all walks of life, we can tackle any challenge that comes our way. After all, it's all about you, the people. Lakewood's shared vision is an inspiration to many and has long been the source of our city's quality of life. We rely on people coming together as they have in the past to study the issues, to think about them broadly with an eye to the future. We are in a boom and have the opportunity to make generational changes that will protect our city for decades to come. This boom will not last forever. Let's not let this moment slip away or be fearful of what's to come. I have faith in our community's ability to come together. When we have an opportunity to control our own destiny, we must act and move forward or face the consequences of not making a choice. Let's create the legacy that says we acted boldly, and we created today an amazing tomorrow for our great city. We're going to get you out here early, but I want to close. That's one of my council members. I want to close by expressing my sincere gratitude to our presenting sponsor, First Bank. First Bank represents boldness in all they do, and I appreciate their community giving. Thank you for being here, for being a part of this. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Yep. Thank you to all of our sponsors and residents. You know, if you weren't mentioned, I really appreciate you. We know that day in and day out, you're doing wonderful things for our city. You care about Lakewood, and that's what makes this community so great. I also want to give a special thanks to Bill and Tom. This is a lot of work for them to put together every year, and I thank you for all your hard work. And right there next to him is Stacy, who I think on rendition number 10 was about ready to walk off the job. So you're all wonderful, and thank you all again. Thank you for your dedication to our community, and we'll see you next year. Let's go out and do some bold things.